So we often get asked, what is better to buy, a pre-construction condo or a resale condo? Here's our take on it. First of all, you gotta look at when you're buying it. Like right now, the pre-construction market is quite expensive when you compare it to the resale market. There was a time where pre-construction was maybe 10, 15, maybe 20% more than the resale market, and there was better opportunity then. Now you're looking at sometimes 30, sometimes even 40% more, depending on the project, when you compare it to the resale, to a newer resale condominium. You got to really think, is it better to pay that premium? Now, don't get me wrong, a pre-construction condo is going to be worth more when it's done. It's going to be worth more than a 5-year-old building at that time or a 7-year-old building. It will be, but is it going to be worth 30%, 35, 40% more? In some areas now, in some pre-construction developments, builders are getting a bit more aggressive. They are offering a lot of incentives. They are even reducing the price to try and get it to a more acceptable spread. But for the most part, it's still quite expensive. Right now, the resale market in Toronto specifically, has adjusted with the market. The one thing about the pre-construction market is that it doesn't really adjust with the market, right? You're kind of waiting on the developers to adjust. And for a long time, they weren't making those adjustments. So the spread between resale and pre-construction started to widen. So when does it make sense to buy a pre-construction? Well, if you don't have the down payment ready, it may make sense, because by the time you save that down payment, if the resale market starts, continues to appreciate, you may be either priced out, or, it may get to a price point where it was closer to what you could have bought that pre-construction condo for 3 years ago. So it could make sense in those scenarios. Right now, if you can afford the down payment and you find a good condo in a good area and you start paying down that mortgage with the rent, you can start really building equity that way. And then if the market appreciates, not only are you paying down your mortgage, you're also gaining equity in the value of the condo. So really right now, it only makes sense to buy a pre-construction, in our opinion, if you can't come up with a down payment. But if you can, resale is most likely the better option.